Hi friends, I'm John Willis, and today we're going to go through the Thinking Talents protocol to support teams. This protocol is for visually mapping the way that individuals process information and contribute to the team. Sometimes these cognitive preferences lead to misreading intentions, unproductive conflicts, and even cognitive silos within a team. Strong leaders can leverage these cognitive preferences for more effective collaboration by creating a framework that identifies complementary strengths, ensures tasks are aligned to individual preferences, and has a language for more effective communication. We'll also explore modifications for implementing this framework with fewer resources, half the time. It's a free online assessment that I've created, and any setting, whether in person or remotely. Let's get to it. So the idea for today's protocol comes from this book, Collaborative Intelligence, Thinking with People Who Think Differently by Markova and McArthur. And what I'm going to do is go through with you the traditional protocol that involves several resources, and at the end of the video I'll give you a much streamed down version. So this first version that I'm going to share with you takes about 30 to 40 minutes to do with your team, and this is going to help the team identify, understand, and leverage their collective thinking talents. So let's look at 3 benefits of using this protocol with your team. 1, it reveals individual thinking talents and preferences. 2, it explores team patterns, including strengths and possible blind spots. 3, help team members understand and leverage one another's natural thinking styles for more effective collaboration and a greater impact on student achievement. Let's start with all the resources that you're going to need for this protocol, and I'll provide a link to those resources in the show notes. You're going to need a set of 35 individual talent cards. You're going to need reference documents such as talent characteristics, as well as the drivers and shadows document, and some reflective questions. You'll also need the talent map, as well as a blank map. To start with, you'll want to print these cards and cut them out. And here's a pro tip: print out a set of cards on different color paper so that everybody has a set of cards of a different color. The reason for this is when they're taking the assessment, they won't get their cards mixed up with someone else, and they'll all go back in the envelope so that you can use them again in the future. Let's go through this protocol step by step. First, ask your participants to briskly go through the 35 cards and put them in a yes, maybe, or no pile in terms of what brings them energy. They enjoy doing this, and they would love to do this more in their work if they had an opportunity. And they've identified their yes, their maybe, their no pile. If their yes pile is more than 5 cards, go ahead and put up the maybe and no pile, put them back in the envelope, and just focus on the ones that you have. So now they want to go through the remaining cards and narrow that down to 5. Remember, we're asking them to think about the things that bring them energy, not necessarily only what they're good at, because we've learned to get really good at things in education that may not bring us energy. So participants will likely finish finding their top 5 at different times, so you can manage this by asking people as they finish to go ahead and examine the reference documents by looking over the characteristics of their talents and the drivers and shadows of their talents as well, so that they can get a better understanding of what their thinking preferences are. Now that everyone has their top 5 characteristics, give them time to hold the silence and spend 2 or 3 minutes considering the reflection questions. This is going to help them process their own thinking styles in preparation for a conversation. Now that everyone's had time to think individually, let's not jump into a whole group conversation. Let's start with just a shoulder partner. So give everyone another 2 or 3 minutes to talk with the shoulder partner about anything that comes up for them that they discovered about their talent, that surprised them about their talent, or that they would like to share with a thought partner. Now everyone's had a chance to think about this individually as well as with a shoulder partner, so Go ahead and share out whole group. You might just consider having 2 or 3 members briefly share in the whole group. The most important thing here is that everyone has time to reflect both individually and with a shoulder partner or a small group. Okay, now we're going to process and analyze the team's thinking talents. Have team members now take sticky notes or flags or dots and populate the blank map. Pro tip, consider making a hand-drawn template of the map on chart paper so that it's big and everybody can see each other's sticky notes. Now that everyone has posted their talents on the team map, what becomes apparent is that this map is a comprehensive framework that organizes the thinking talents into 4 distinct quadrants that represent a schema or thinking approach. You've got analytical, which is a focus on data and logic. Procedural, this is more about organizing information and implementation. There's relational, the focus here is on people and connections. And finally, we have innovative. This is about possibilities and creativity. Now, have the team gather around the map and analyze the map using the following questions to help guide the conversation. What do you notice? What blind spots do you see? What does this map say about our team and the way that we communicate or relate to one another? And what are the implications this could have on our team? Pro tip, why don't you capture the team's thinking on chart paper so that you can use this as part of the actions later? Let's go over some challenges that you can anticipate to ensure that the team has a smooth experience. First of all, let the team know there are no wrong answers. The talents can change and grow just as the team dynamics change and grow. This is a fluid, living document. Remind them to focus on talents that energize them and light them up, not just talents that they're good at, and just let them know not to overthink it. Just go with your gut. Another common question that we get is, what is the difference between a driver and a shadow? So driver is the positive, energizing expression of a thinking talent and brings value to the team. On the other hand, a shadow is the underdeveloped or maybe even overused aspect of a thinking talent that often emerges under stress and it hasn't yet reached its full potential. So individual team members might interpret shadows as a weakness when in fact it's simply just an underdeveloped aspect of the talent that can certainly be improved on and developed with awareness and intention. The other challenge is putting this into action. So as a team lead, think about how you can implement this so that it has meaningful relevance to the team and how the team interacts with each other. So I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Let's look at some modifications. From my experience, a lot of team members really enjoy holding the cards and going through the process and using the map. So here's a modification that requires fewer resources and half the time. It's a free online assessment that I've created. So this assessment has only 5 questions, and each question is a brief scenario. And there's 4 viable options: analytical, a relational, a innovative, and a procedural option for each of the scenarios. Each person that takes the assessment is also going to receive a personalized report that's going to share their dominant preference type as well as some strengths and possible challenges with that as well. So this is a simple assessment that your team can take on their phone or their computer and receive a report through their email. As you can see here, it's very easy to pull up the assessment on my phone, put in your email address so that they can get their individualized report, and then go through the 5 scenarios with 4 options, each one representing a different schema type. This is very quick, doesn't take long, and it's relevant because it represents a scenario that the team is likely going to experience as part of a collaborative learning team. So if we open up the email, you can see that we have the participants' information as well as each of their responses, the analysis, which is a simple 4-square map that shows a percentage for each of the 4 schema types, with the dominant schema type shaded in. After the analysis is a brief description of this dominant schema type that the person has revealed through the assessment, as well as some potential challenges that they should consider when thinking about how to best leverage this when supporting their team. Once everyone has a report, go ahead and continue facilitating as described before. Give everyone individual time to process, time to discuss with a shoulder partner before discussing whole group, and think about how you want to capture all the information for the 4-square schema map so that the team can really discover their strengths and possible gaps. Finally, let's talk about digital intelligence. And what I'd like to do is talk about how you can leverage AI in order to help support your team's next steps. So what you want to do is create a spreadsheet or a Google Doc with the team's thinking talents and schemas. Then you can simply take this document and upload it to your favorite AI, such as ChatGPT-4, Claude, Perplexity, or whatever you like to use, and also include some context to help support the AI in thinking about how to best consider team composition and roles to best meet the outcomes of a particular project that's coming up. So for example, you could include the following information. We need to redesign our reading intervention program to better address diverse learning needs. This will require analyzing current performance data, creating new instructional approaches, developing implementation procedures, and building teacher buy-in. Based on my team's thinking talent distribution, what team configuration would you recommend for this project? Are there any thinking talent gaps that we should address? So put in a prompt like that or something similar. So here I put this into Claude for some sample data, and I put in the report, and then it came back and said, based on your team's thinking talent distribution, here's my recommended team configuration for the reading intervention program. So they have a data analysis phase, implementation, planning phase, teacher buy-in, and some potential gaps as well. So it's one thing to do a protocol to engage the team in some meaningful conversations, but really what matters is the implementation of this conversation in order to help improve student achievement. So think about how you could leverage AI in a similar way. You could always follow up by asking AI to elaborate on one of these topics or to modify this based on your own creativity and context of your team. So the talent mapping protocol is a structured way to make each individual's thinking preferences visible and to leverage this cognitive diversity on the team to help improve collaboration among the team. So whether you're using the traditional method or the free online assessment, this protocol is going to help you identify individual thinking preferences. It's going to expose team patterns of strengths and possible blind spots, and of course help the team members understand and leverage one another's natural thinking preferences that leads to effective collaboration and a greater impact on student achievement. So I'd love to hear how the talent mapping protocol has worked for your team. So please drop a line below in the comments and tell me how it went. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe, and be sure to join my next video where we're going to continue going through protocols for improved team effectiveness. So go ahead and click on this next video for another protocol on improving team effectiveness. Until next time, see you later.